Hi, I'm Kathleen Oakey, and in today's session, I'll be talking about my experience building an OER for faculty on how to design research assignments. I've been working as a librarian at Sheridan College for over 14 years. In my current role, I primarily support humanities and social sciences courses, including first-year communications and ESL. In 2023, I embarked on an 8-month sabbatical to create an OER for faculty highlighting best practices for designing research-based assessments. Why this book? In my practice, I increasingly saw the need to shift my focus from student-focused one-shots to faculty-focused professional development. While I had developed strong ties with particular faculty in particular courses, I knew I wasn't reaching everyone I needed to. In addition, I was finding it difficult to help students through research assignments that made incorrect assumptions about information sources or didn't integrate information literacy concepts well. I didn't want to do away with the one-shots, but I started to see a need for more than just focusing on these random workshops. In 2006, almost 20 years before I started my OER, ALA published a white paper addressing many of the concerns I was seeing in 2020. Here's what they had to say. Integrating information literacy throughout the undergraduate curriculum is limited as long as librarians insist on doing the instruction themselves. Despite idealistic instructional goals, most libraries simply do not have enough staff to offer instruction extensively throughout a curriculum. Therefore, limitations on successful integration are built into the system. For those of us in small institutions, our efforts to teach students have undermined our ability to integrate information literacy throughout the curriculum by using up time and energy that would be better focused on institution-wide initiatives that lead to shared educational goals and objectives throughout the campus. Furthermore, faculty control the learning environment and are in a better position than library faculty to create situations which allow students to see information seeking as an essential part of problem solving in a discipline. The time has come to shift our focus from the students to the faculty to teach information literacy. Clearly, the challenges I was facing were not unique. In fact, a growing number of librarians have recently been heeding this advice and developing strategies to meet faculty at the assignment design stage. One solution has been to create online information literacy modules. This module from the University of Albany at SUNY is particularly impressive with its modern design and engaging mix of videos and activities. Other librarians have put together simple LibGuides that highlight do's and don'ts, assignment ideas, etc. While both of these solutions are effective, I wanted to put together something more comprehensive, one package with everything faculty needed to know about or think through when putting together a research assignment. Creating the OER. So my approach was to create an OER that was very practical, a handbook with key resources. It also needed to be holistic, to cover everything from ideation to evaluation. And finally, I really wanted to emphasize the student experience, to focus on what students need to succeed. I started by reading widely. I combed through library databases, Google Scholar, and the LibGuides community to see what information I could find. As I started putting together outlines and filling in some of the content, I solicited feedback from librarians and faculty from my institution. And then, as the book began to take shape, I shared the content with librarians outside of Sheridan, including staff from the Learning Portal, who kindly looked over some of my core content, offering feedback and suggestions. Some of the most helpful resources I came across included the Transparency in Learning and Teaching Project, or TILT, which focuses on creating a clear purpose and clear step-by-step tasks. Decoding the disciplines was also helpful for understanding how to identify and mitigate bottlenecks in the learning process, where students get stuck in a process due to a lack of understanding of an underlying concept. And of course, the UDL guidelines by CAST offer excellent best practices for designing any type of assessment or learning material for all. Putting it all together. The final version of the OER was published as a PressBook on the eCampus Open Library. It consists of 4 modules: understanding research skills, students as learners, applying teaching and learning strategies, and developing assignment instructions. For the chapter on understanding research skills, I offered an overview of information literacy and how it applies to research assignments. Next, in students as learners, I focused on the student experience and how to help them learn through the process of completing a research assignment. For example, recognizing where students are on their academic journey and how to foster their identity as a researcher. Next, under applying teaching and learning strategies, I talk about some of the big issues that instructors will encounter and should plan for when designing their assignments, including academic integrity, engagement, troublesome tasks, and artificial intelligence. And then finally, under developing assignment instructions, I focus on each of the important aspects of the instructions, such as how to describe research topics, sources, etc. Within each of the modules, I've integrated reflection questions and activities that help learners reflect on their own experiences and practices. Strategies for success that highlight best practices. Sample statements, including statements for source selection, writing style, rubrics, and more. Example assignments, both assessment formats and common research tasks. And finally, a full planning toolkit. The toolkit can be downloaded as a PDF or accessed through Google Docs. It includes all of the reflection questions from the handbook, a step-by-step planning guide, an assignment checklist, and an instruction rubric, which ensures instructors have included all the necessary details in their instructions. Dissemination. The entire OER is published under a Creative Commons license, so I was so pleased to be able to share this work with the Learning Portal, who used it to create a new module under the Faculty Toolkit Hub. They added helpful videos and other media to enrich the content. I also had the opportunity to provide a poster presentation at OLA Super Conference this past January, which was a great opportunity to share the handbook with librarians from other library systems. But for me, my favorite outcome of this project has been the opportunity to renew conversations around information literacy learning and research assignment design within my institution, Sheridan. I returned to a very different educational environment. When I left for my sabbatical leave in September, ChatGPT had just recently been released and faculty were just starting to feel its effects. When I returned 8 months later, in May 2024, generative AI and digital literacy was all anyone could talk about. I provided a number of presentations for various committees and faculty meetings, always with a great response. I'm hopeful that in the coming year, I can continue to foster fresh conversations with faculty about their assignments through more formal online modules, as we all seek to improve digital and information literacy practices through effective research assignment design. Thank you so much for attending this session. I hope you have found this project inspiring. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or comments. Thank you.